South Africa has joined the global community to raise awareness about the significance of organ transplants and donations. Currently, South Africa has around 2,780 people waitlisted for organ donation. These include kidney, liver, heart and lungs, while about 189 people lost their lives while waiting for someone to gift them with the life-saving organ. Let's discuss this further. We're joined by Dr. Sechaba Palweni from Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital. Thank you very much for your time this morning. What is the biggest issue around organ donation in South Africa that we are seeing the waiting list getting longer and longer? And as I've just mentioned, you heard in my intro, people dying while waiting for a life-saving organ, Doc?
Good morning to everyone and all the listeners. The issues about organ donation that are really stopping or preventing people from receiving this life-saving procedures is lack of education, amongst other things. The problems are very multi-level. There's at the hospital level, the community level, and also at legislation level. So there needs to be a change and an improvement in terms of increasing education, people becoming aware of organ donation and also tissue donation, because one donor can really save 8 lives, and then with tissue you can even save even more, up to 50 donors, because we harvest corneas, hip bones for hip replacement, tendons for tendon injury repairs. So if we can start the conversations at home and in our classes, at schools, so that people become aware of organ donation, and then that will remove all anxieties in terms of when the transplant community approaches any family about organ donation, then those anxieties will be reduced, and then ease into and give consent to donating organs.
You do mention in your response that there are many misconceptions around organ donation, and there needs to be a great deal of education conducted to lower their level of anxiety for people who think about it or hear about it. But is there a misconception that one can only donate organs, so tissue aside, but when it comes to organs, is there a misconception that one can only donate organs when they are no longer alive, in that it will be harvested from a body that no longer has life? Or can someone like myself walk into a hospital and offer an organ that I could perhaps do without?
Yes, so donation falls into 2 broad groups. Living related, meaning that we can take a part of the liver, 1 kidney, and then transplant it into a recipient who will benefit from that organ. And then the deceased donors, there is also within that group, there's one that is brain dead, is declared by 2 independent doctors who have more than 5 years experience. And then the second one is donation after cardiac arrest. So you don't have to wait for a loved one to get to a hospital where they are declared brain dead or where they have exhausted the maximum medical therapy before you can reach a donation. So everyone needs to know that you can live with 1 kidney, and then you can give away with part of your liver so that a loved one can benefit from organ donation.
Let's speak a little bit about how people can go and donate some of their tissue or a kidney if that you say they can live without both of them. Are there enough centers that do this harvesting of tissue and organs? And how do people get access to them?
So what we have embarked on a journey with all state hospitals, where we have appointed and trained nursing staff to become organ coordinators, organ transplant coordinators, where they identify potential donors, they educate the community about the gift of organ donation, and then also and then these transplant coordinators spend throughout the Gauteng, Northwest, Mpumalanga, and Limpopo, where they train and increase numbers in organ donation. So that is the one part. And then where you can get hold of, if you want to donate, you can get in touch with the Charlotte Maxeke, Area 563. It's in the blue block, where you will meet one of the transplant coordinators who will gladly walk you through the process of becoming a donor and then doing all the investigations and tests that are necessary to get you to that point of where you finally become a donor, and then we procure the organs and then transplant it into a potential recipient, whether they are related or unrelated.
In the meantime, Dr. Sechaba, maybe explain to us the likelihood of a person not surviving at all if they don't get that organ, in that medication will not keep them alive for very long. I did mention in my intro that over 180 people died while waiting for an organ. But in a general sense, we have to understand that medication alone cannot save a person who needs an organ. So this act is actually one of life and death, essentially.
Yes, most definitely. So the one organ that is where medical therapy, where they need to have a replacement therapy, like a dialysis machine. In the state sector, there are not enough hemodialysis slots where these resources are shared amongst the large population of patients. And then even at our institution, where these slots are not so readily available, and then patients move on to have peritoneal dialysis, where they put a catheter in the tummy, and obviously these measures are never the same as receiving a kidney transplant, where you can actually reverse the end-stage renal failure and make those people productive members of society once again, and then children can go back to school and enjoy full-time school instead of being attached to a machine most 3 times a week, when their school gets interrupted, and then adults can go back to gainful employment after they get their organ transplant.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously
finish your thought, please. Finish your thought.
And obviously medicine can only do this to a limited extent, and that's why surgery becomes important, where we replace organs, and then so that people can get back to being gainfully employed.
Mm-hmm. And then just a final thought from you, Dr. Sechaba Palweni. What would constitute a rejection of someone's body of an organ, and is that a common occurrence?
It is a common occurrence, because you must remember that our body has an immune system that can read our genetic code. So once you introduce a foreign body that is closely matched to you, the immune system has the ability to read that foreign body as an outsider and start attacking it. That's why part and parcel of any transplantation involves immunosuppression, where we give high doses of immunosuppression just to manipulate the immune system so that the foreign organ can coexist and then do its duties. And if patients are not compliant on their immunosuppressant medication, then you have this occurrence of a rejection, where the immune system recognizes this kidney and then attacks it, and then we have graft failure.
Very interesting insights there, and a call to all South Africans to do their bit if they can. Learn a little bit about it and then also make a contribution if you can. That is Dr. Sechaba Palweni from Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital.